Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hobart begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, Tasmanians can expect their power prices to rise further. TasNetworks has released its 5-year forecast. However, the opposition says there could be an even larger sting from some unlisted projects.
A plan for how much it expects to spend, as well as charge Tasmanian customers over 5 years. This week, TasNetworks released its combined revenue proposal for 2024 to 2029.
That submission is open for public feedback, and it has to go through an independent process and independently assessed.
Network charges typically make up 40% of a bill. In 2024, households can expect around a 6% rise in them, roughly $45 a year. For small businesses, it's just over 2%, or $62. Further increases follow after that.
Ensuring that in Tasmania we can invest to ensure safe and reliable renewable energy at the lowest possible cost.
In the public version of the document release, there's scarce mention of how either Marinus Link or the North West Transmission Line will further increase prices.
They should be upfront and honest and explain exactly how much this is going to cost Tasmanian households and businesses.
The state government says the two projects will save households around $60 to $70 per year on their energy bills, claiming higher network charges will be offset by lower generation costs.
The Minister's been talking for 5 years about new wind generation coming online, but we've not seen anything.
Let's be very clear, this is Mr Winter out of his depth.
There's still some back and forth between TasNetworks and the national regulator before prices are set for the 5-year period. A decision will be made in April next year. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
More flood funding is now available for communities hit hard by October's extreme weather event. The state government launching 2 new grants for private landowners and local organisations to help clean up the devastation.
The road to recovery is still very real for the Deloraine Pony Club.
The flood damage that we saw was greater than any person currently on the committee had seen before. We lost a number of our cross-country jumps, which are vital for training for our riders.
With training equipment washed away in the October floods.
I was here with the Pony Club just a short time after the October floods. They had prepared well, but that particular flood was more grave and devastating than past floods, in fact worse than the 2016 flood. They'd prepared, but still the damage was done.
Months on, the clean-up continues, looking to replace all that was lost.
We spent a lot of time cleaning and physically, cleaning, putting things back, deciding what can be kept, what can be fixed. And so that's I guess, monopolised a lot of our time.
But the state government's stepping up, providing sporting and recreational facilities further funding.
For example, the showgrounds right here in Deloraine, the Pony Club, Squash Club, the Football Club, and so they will be eligible to put forward an application for grants of up to $25,000.
Directly helping those in need.
We should be able to replace the jumps that we've lost and also the kitchen facilities that we no longer have as well. So we're very excited that it will definitely get us back on track.
It will help us train a lot more because we lost lots of our cross-country jumps and gear that we need to train with, getting ready for competitions in the future.
Farmers will also be able to access financial support.
Those that own land along the river, it was particularly devastating. It scoured much of the paddocks and impacted on primary production in a very adverse way. So there will now be grants of up to $10,000 and in exceptional circumstances up to $25,000.
Applications for both grants will close in March. McKenna Bailey, 7 Tasmania News.
Sunday afternoon traffic was disrupted after a 4-vehicle crash on the Brooker Highway at Newtown this afternoon. Traffic was diverted through Risdon Road or via Cornelian Bay while the scene was cleaned up. Police say there were no major injuries, with the road reopened just before 2 o'clock. Police have arrested and charged a 32-year-old man in relation to yesterday's alleged stabbing incident at Clarendon Vale. He's been charged with wounding another man on Church Road at around 1 p.m. Bellreeve CIB detectives took the suspect into custody following the incident. He appeared in court today. The victim was rushed to the Royal Hobart Hospital after sustaining a knife wound to the abdomen. Police say both parties are believed to be known to one another. Thousands of triathletes have swum, run and ridden across Hobart this morning in the first Ironman 70.3 race. From family affairs to personal bests, the event drew people from across the globe, with many vowing to come back.
As the sun rose over the Derwent, thousands were taking the plunge into the mighty river. 6:30 a.m. on a Sunday is used by most to sleep off their Saturday shenanigans, but the young and not so young were lining up to push their bodies to the limit.
It really is for everyone. We've got people from all backgrounds, all athletic abilities, and everyone's just giving it a go.
The Ironman 70.3 class, a test of physical and mental endurance, starting with a 1.9 kilometre swim. A grueling 90 kilometre bike ride across some of Hobart's steepest locations followed.
All the athletes were talking about that prior to the event. A lot of them went on reconnaissance rides and were definitely worried.
A few hills on the bike ride that gave a bit of excitement.
Topped off by a half marathon, which became more difficult as the day went on.
I certainly found the run very hard as the temperature rose.
Thousands of spectators and families also up early, giving those involved vital support. Everyone's story a little different. For some, it was a challenge.
Happy with your time? For the amount of training I did, yes.
Other reasons not as popular.
I talked my husband and my neighbour into coming to do this as well, and I don't know whether they're going to actually chat to me after.
The event also a tourism boom, with only 30% of the field Tasmanian.
The rest have come from interstate around all states and territories of Australia, and then over 30 countries from around the world.
The atmosphere is amazing. I mean, what's not to like?
And after the race, a few drinks were in order.
I'm sure there's a savvy bee with my name on it somewhere.
Yeah, just maybe 1 or 2 or 3.
However, tomorrow's plans might have to change.
We're going to mine it tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, God. They have conveyor belts, right?
I hope so.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
One of Tasmania's oldest taekwondo clubs has celebrated a special milestone. Eagling's Martial Arts and Fitness celebrated its 50th anniversary. Past and present members gathered this morning to look back on the club's history. Founded by Dale Eagling, the family tradition continues with son Hugh still in charge. He says while times have changed, the principles of the sport remain strong.
With respect, integrity, even the social aspect of how people develop and go on to have a positive role in society.
It was a very big weekend for Hugh, who became a 9th Dan last night, making him one of the highest ranked in the country. The final day of Festivali began with a twist, with headline act Thirsty Merc pulling the pin on their performance. Organisers scrambled to find a last-minute replacement, so Shepherd agreed to step in. The Brisbane band graced the stage for a second day in a row after performing to a sellout crowd last night. Thousands of patrons returned to Launceston's City Park on a sunny Sunday to enjoy a family fun day featuring juggling for the kids, with more than 60 stall holders serving Tasmania's best food, beer and wine for the adults. Staying in the north, and the Tasmanian Truck and Ute Show has returned for its first event post-pandemic. 103 trucks and 30 utes were on display in Deloraine, with motor enthusiasts revelling. The Lions Club managing to bring back the well-loved show thanks to state government funding through the Community Road Safety Grant.
By working together with the Lions Club of Deloraine and 12 other organisations who have also been funded nearly $200,000 for community road safety grants, we hope that we can cut through, get new messages through in innovative ways to the general community.
We just sort of want to promote safety on the trucking industry, so that's why we did it. And one of the bigger problems too is tailgating the trucks. Like, if you can't see the mirrors, both mirrors of the trucks, then he can't see you. So.
The program aims to raise awareness around road safety at the grassroots level. The Jack Jumpers will play finals again, finishing 4th on the NBL ladder. A win over Illawarra sealed the place, but it did come at a cost.
The Jackies were almost certain to play post-season basketball, but a date with the Hawks was far from a dead rubber. A win would secure a double chance in the NBL's play-in tournament.
Rolling to the hoop and throwing it down. Gives him a look too.
Will Magnay's pick-and-roll poster proof this was no night off. Tasmania building a 10-point quarter-time lead. Into the second, and Akdola Gak was bringing back showtime.
Oh my gosh, again! Nice job. But here's Gak once more.
But the Jack Jumpers were headlining.
Strongly to Krislovic, who throws it down.
Out-hustling, out-rebounding and out-scoring.
Just little breakdowns like that.
14 unanswered fourth quarter points, stretching the margin beyond 20, securing the win and securing 4th place on the final ladder.
I'm super proud of this group. You know, no one in their right mind again thought that we could ever finish in the top 4.
But the win came at a cost. Josh Majette with a suspected fractured cheekbone after copping an elbow in the 3rd quarter.
Majette's in some serious pain, and it's going to be probably not a good outcome for him. We're just hoping to rally around him and support him the best he can.
Unlikely to play again this season, he'll miss the clash against Cairns. The winner through to the playoffs to face the Breakers. The loser heading to a sudden death match. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's Jake Birtwistle has made the Ironman Hobart 70.3 event one to remember, winning the inaugural men's pro race in front of a home crowd. The locals swept past Mitch Kirby and Caleb Noble on the run to win in just under 3 hours 50 minutes. The Olympian looking to do more of these races after next year's Olympic Games.
This will be kind of my bread and butter. I think this will be time to make the switch and go long, and yeah, really excited to, I guess, get a bit of a taste for it, what's to come.
Ellie Salthouse was too strong in the women's, crossing the line in just over 4 hours 25 minutes. The Queenslanders' triumph, a special one, with illness nearly forcing her out.
I came good and ended up coming down, and yeah, I mean, I was just lacking a little bit of power today and felt maybe a little bit lacking energy, but yeah, I mean, to take the win's really special.
Victoria's Grace Thick was 2nd, while Penny Slater was 3rd. And the Burnie International has officially wrapped up, the competition's 2nd seed claiming the title. Winning 2 straight sets, 6-3, 6-3, Rinky Hijikata has taken home the title, defeating fellow Aussie James Duckworth. In the doubles final, it was a clash of the Aussies, but Mark Purcell and Mark Polmans pulled through to win this year's International.
Good evening. 26 was the state's top today in Launceston, Hobart 24, 23 in Devonport, Burnie 22, 20 across Flinders Island and Strawn, Grove 23 and 21 in St Helens. On the close-up, westerly winds push cloud over the West and Bass Strait Islands with clear skies over the rest of Tasmania. Further out, a band of cloud and thunderstorms lies over northern and eastern Queensland. Tomorrow shows a cold front weakening as it crosses Tasmania, while a high south of WA extends a ridge of high pressure over Victoria. West to southwesterly winds tomorrow, 15 to 25 knots, swells up to 3 metres in the west and south and below 1 metre in the north. A strong wind warning is current for the central north coast, Banks Strait, Franklin Sound, the east coast and the west coast. Tomorrow's forecast now: Hobart and Ouse 22, a possible shower in Dover. In the north, Launceston 27, mostly sunny across Devonport and Scottsdale. Burnie tomorrow, partly cloudy, a shower or 2 in Strawn, 22 in Stanley. St Helens, mostly sunny and 25 and partly cloudy across Swansea and Ross. The UV forecast is very high 9s across the state. Looking ahead to the 3-day forecast now: Tuesday, light showers about the west and far south, clearing during the afternoon. Wednesday, showers in the north, fine elsewhere. And Thursday, partly cloudy with the chance of showers about the north and west. Capital cities 30 and partly cloudy in Perth tomorrow. Adelaide 29 and 32 and showers in Cairns. And currently Hobart 22 and mostly sunny, Launceston 24 and Devonport 22 and sunny. That's all for weather, Lou.
And that's all your news for this Sunday evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Join Kim and the team tomorrow. Good night.